Hey guys, welcome to Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews. I am your host, Boyze, and this is NXT versus NXT UK. Oh my god, we have two brilliant episodes to review, so let's get straight on with it. Before we get started though guys, don't forget to like, subscribe and press that bell so you can keep notified. Now that's all said and done, let's get on with it. Let's hit the music. So we started off the show with a huge announcement from the general manager of NXT, Regal. He announced that the Viking Raiders have officially relinquished the NXT Tag Team titles, which is for me a bit of a shame because I would have liked to see them lose it. In my opinion, I think it always feels a little bit more important for the team who does, or you know, the person who takes the title off the champion, not just because the title. If you're injured, then yes, that's fine, relinquish the title. But if you're not injured and you're just being called up, then no, you should lose that. You should lose to the team and then allow that team to feel like they've actually overcome a very dominant champion. But no, Viking Raiders have officially vacated the titles, and now we're going to have a bloody awesome ladders match between the Forgotten Sons, the Undisputed Era's Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, with Street Profits and Danny Burch and Oni Hawkins as well. So I'm actually really excited. I think this is going to be a fantastic ladders match. I know NXT TakeOver XXV is getting even better and better on the card being built up. I cannot wait to see it. So for me guys, I'm going to give this a score of 3 out of 5 stars. Huge announcement. Cannot wait to see how this is all built up towards the TakeOver pay-per-view. Next up we have a promo by the Undisputed Era, and my god, Adam Cole is just brilliant on the mic. The guy is just knows how, you know what, for a guy who's a heel, he manages to get the crowd always on his side in very easily, and it's always fun. It's always fun to watch the Undisputed Era in the ring because they're just joking around. Every time he says something, you've got Kyle O'Reilly doing something in the corner, you've got Roderick Strong being very serious, you've got Bobby Fish making sure Kyle O'Reilly doesn't overdo it with the silliness, but it's just the guys just have chemistry together, and I think that's why the crowd just so much enjoy the Undisputed Era. Even if they're heels, we still cheer for them. That just shows you how good of a heel team they really are. They were talking about their TakeOver XXV, that called out Johnny Gargano. They exchanged some words talking about the 2 out of 3 falls match which we got in the last TakeOver New York, and a great promo from Johnny Gargano as well, taking everything that Adam Cole had said and said, Adam, I'm sure you didn't shock the education system, but 1 is not more than 2, and I beat you twice in that match, so I am NXT champion. Adam Cole and him, they do agree that they're going to have a match at TakeOver XXV. That is going to be a hell of a match. And then Riddle attacks all the Undisputed Era. Johnny Gargano gets involved, and they manage to beat out all 4 members out of the ring before officials get in and stop them from continuing. This is a great start to the show. I really enjoyed it. I think all 6 men involved in this storyline so far have just been brilliant, and I've got a feeling Roderick Strong will turn on the Undisputed Era at some point. So for me, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5 stars. Really good promo. We had a singles match where we saw Shane Mulatto, I'm sorry if I'm butchering the last name, versus Mansoor, 2 very young athletes in the NXT developmental system. Shane had been in the Cruiserweight Classic. I haven't seen much of either of these guys, so it was an interesting one. Mansoor came across as a very interesting, I'm not sure if he's meant to be a babyface or heel, very cocky, but they said he's tagged with like people like Ali, which makes sense. You can see very much influences of Ali's techniques in his ability, and I thought it was a very decent match between 2 upcomers in the NXT division. So for me, I'm just going to give this a 2.5 out of 5. Entertaining, but I would have liked to see Shane get the victory over Mansoor, because they really pumped up Mansoor a lot, but I would have liked to see Shane possibly get a shock victory for this one. Next up, probably the best part about NXT for me this week was the Velveteen Dream segment. It was just brilliant. Dream comes out, he's cutting a promo talking about how no one can handle the Dream. Just an absolutely brilliant promo by him. And then he is interrupted by a returning Tyler Breeze. Oh man, this is what it's all about with NXT. Absolutely fantastic. Tyler Breeze gets a homecoming welcome. The crowd just love him. Everyone is just so happy to see him, and you can understand why. The guy he's an NXT legend. He might have never won the title, but he managed to win over the NXT crowd in such a unique way, and it's a shame how he's been used on the main roster, in my opinion. And he's come back because he's looking for gold, and he's coming for the Velveteen Dream's NXT North American title. Dream states no, it's not going to happen. You just go back to catering on the main roster. Tyler goes, you know what, okay, and then Dream offers to take a selfie with Tyler Breeze. Mistake number one right there. Tyler Breeze agrees, and then he knocks Velveteen Dream so hard his clothes fall off. That's pretty impressive, Tyler. And then he walks away. Great to see Tyler Breeze back on NXT TV. He's such a legend on that brand. And then afterwards, it was announced we will be seeing Tyler Breeze versus the Velveteen Dream for the North American title. To be honest, I would be happy for Tyler Breeze to go back to NXT and win the North American title. So for me, really enjoyed this segment. Great return, great atmosphere from the crowd at this segment. So I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5 stars. A brilliant start from NXT here. Next up, we had Candice LeRae versus Rena Gonzalez. This was a good singles match between both women. Gonzalez did come out looking quite strong. She's one of the more dominant women in the NXT women's rosters. Candice LeRae is just over no matter what. She's a fan favourite at the NXT division, and I can understand why. She just doesn't give up, and it was a good story. It was a great story they're trying to tell here. It was the smaller competitor, Candice LeRae, overcoming a much bigger, more stronger opponent in Gonzalez, and she managed to do it. She had an impressive showing. She was high flying moves which really outdid her opponent, and then she got the victory. Good little victory here, and then Shayna Baszler and her cronies came out to attack Candice LeRae. This is all because of what happened a few weeks ago at the Development Center, where Candice LeRae got involved with them get in over there. So they were getting their revenge on her. This caused Io Shirai to come out with a kendo stick to attack Shayna Baszler and her cronies and chase them off. This is a standard heels versus babyface story. I know Io Shirai is pretty much the #1 contender for the NXT Women's Championship, but I would like to see Candice LeRae at some point start challenging for that title. So for me, I'm going to give this a 2.5 out of 5. Solid match and a solid beatdown at the end, and a solid save from the #1 contender. Last but not least, we had a great main event. It was Matt Riddle and Johnny Gargano taking on the Undisputed Era's Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. This all started after the attack on the Undisputed Era on their promo. They went to see William Regal. William Regal agreed to give them a match, and what a match it was. To be honest with you, it looked like Johnny Gargano and Matt Riddle had been tagging for a long time. Their chemistry in the ring was absolutely fantastic. Not to take anything away from Bobby Fish or Kyle O'Reilly, these two are absolutely one of the, if not best tag team in NXT right now, and they really went all out. This was a hard-hitting, physical match, and it really showed why these guys are top of the line on the NXT brand right now. It's just absolutely entertaining from start to finish. Matt Riddle's offensive is absolutely crazy. Johnny Gargano is a worthy NXT champion. He just absolutely outshines every time he is on TV. Matt Riddle also the guy just comes off charismatic all the time. Even when he's being aggressive, he just oozes, charisma is brilliant. Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly are just absolutely hard-hitting, non-stop veterans in the ring, and it just absolutely is a masterclass on their selling as well. Obviously, it looked like the baby faces were going to get the win on this one, but no, those dastardly Undisputed Era with their numbers game got involved. That was because Roderick Strong got involved, attacking Matt Riddle when Johnny Gargano attacked Adam Cole when he came down the ramp. Strong took him out. Bobby Fish and his partner Kyle O'Reilly took advantage. They got the pinfall on Matt Riddle, and Undisputed Era won. That wasn't the end of it though, because Undisputed Era took out Johnny Gargano as well and beat the crap out of him, ending the show with the Undisputed Era standing tall over their opponents. I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5 star. I think it was a well told story, a good story between heels and baby faces, and the heels using the numbers game to really take advantage of their opponents. Now this moves us on to NXT UK, and what a show we had on this as well. First up, we started off with Travis Banks versus Joseph Connors. My god, this was a great match. This was a qualification match for the Fatal 4-Way #1 Contenders match. Oh my god. You know, I have seen these two fight each other before, and they have chemistry. It did take a little bit of time, in my opinion, for the chemistry to start to flow between them, but by the end of this match, I really enjoyed it. I think Travis Banks is a absolute superstar, in my opinion. He's so good in the ring. Connors is, again, he's a maniac, and he's so good at playing these great heel characters and gets the crowd. He only has to say one thing and the crowd automatically turn on him. That's how good he is in the ring. For me, he's one of the most underrated superstars on NXT UK right now. I'd love to see him perform more and more on the brand, and maybe go up towards, you know, the NXT brand. I would love to see him go overseas to NXT to also take on some of those guys, because I think he would add some spice to that, you know, to that really great division already. I think that would really work. The match itself ended with Travis Banks finally getting the victory. Hard fought match between both really great competitors. I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5 stars. Just from the start was a bit slow, but by the time it got started halfway through, it was a brilliant match. Next up, we had a rematch from a few months ago, 2 months ago, when it was Mark Andrews versus Noam. Both men were stretchered out of the ring last time they fought, and this was a highly excited match. And did it live up to its hype? No, but it did a lot of good as well. For me, this was a fantastic rematch, in my opinion. It wasn't as good as their first match, but it really was a high impact match as well. Mainly because Mark Andrews was showing us so much respect from Noam Dar. Noam Dar, I've seen Noam Dar a lot. I know the character, and you don't trust Noam Dar no matter what. You know, even if he's a babyface, the guy will still cheat to win, and you just don't trust him. I'm sorry, you just don't in the ring, and that's something Mark Andrews should have learnt. This was a great match between two guys. It looked like Dar had got injured. The referee looked like he was about to call off the match, and Noam Dar attacks Mark Andrews from behind, gets the victory. And it's just one of those where he's going like that about Mark Andrews, where he just hooked him in to get the victory. This was a great, and I'm always saying Noam Dar, even if he's playing a babyface, he's always going to be a heel, in my opinion. So I don't know if they were saying this is a heel turn, but it wasn't. It's just Noam Dar being Noam Dar. So I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5 stars. Brilliant match, really good sales by Noam Dar, Mark Andrews, and just the absolute ability by both men is just fantastic. So we had Rhea Ripley cut a promo towards Piper Nevin. This is obviously these two have been kind of exchanging words for a while, and I cannot wait for this match. I'm sorry, this match is going to be absolutely brilliant when it does happen. I think Ripley is one of the best work women in NXT UK right now. I think Nevin aka Viper. She's just fantastic. She's one of my favourite women's wrestlers in NXT UK. She's one of my favourite UK women's wrestlers, full stop. Her matches against Toni Storm are classics in my opinion. They are some of the best women's wrestling matches you will ever find, and I just can't wait to see Rhea Ripley take her on. I just can't. It was a great promo. She kind of fluffed the lines once or twice, but but she really worked the crowd as well, which was good to see. She's got a lot better on the mic as Rhea Ripley, in my opinion. So for me, I'm going to give us a 2.5 out of 5. Cannot wait for this match. And it's moved us on to the main event itself. A match I think everyone was super excited about when it got announced. Pete Dunne versus Walter 2 for the NXT United Kingdom Championship. Oh my God, what a match this was. This was a hard work match. Was it as good as their takeover match at New York? It's hard to say. In my opinion, kinda. It was up there as possibly the best, one of the best main events we've had on NXT UK at all. This is just so good. Pete Dunne and Walter just went at it. Both men know each other so well, and they just don't give each other any time to rest. So many times Pete was able to get Walter onto the floor and grapple him, which is a huge thing with someone like Walter, who's a powerhouse in any division. He just destroys everyone over here in NXT UK, in the UK independent scene. He just destroys them. That's how well he's been booked over here. And having Dunne being able to take him down to the ground is super impressive in my opinion. It was just a hard working match by both men. No matter what, I was enjoying this match. It was just so good, and the ending really shocked me when I first saw it, but it shocked me again when I rewatched it. It was just one of those matches where you just go, this is so good. The reason it was so good was because pretty much both men were able to pull off their moves, and that's a big thing. Mainly because Walter couldn't use his chops, and that's a huge thing for him. If he's not able to use his chops, he loses his ability to overcome his opponent. Pete Dunne was destroying the hands. It looked like Pete was going to get the victory, and I swear to God, every single time everyone was saying tap, 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 tap to Walter. Then Eichner comes out. I wasn't expecting Eichner to come out at this point. He does. He's distracting Pete Dunne, and next thing we know, Bartel comes out with the United Kingdom Championship, attacks Pete Dunne from behind. Walter power drives him, gets the victory. Walter has a new faction on NXT UK. What a ending and what a main event. Walter couldn't beat Dunne by himself. He had to bring in his allies. And what does this mean for the NXT UK brand? We'll have to wait and see. But what a match between Pete Dunne and Walter. Just like I stated, this is possibly the best main event match we have had in a long time. So for me, I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. Absolutely loved it. And there you go, guys. That was NXT versus NXT UK review. I think both shows just really were impressive, but NXT, just the Matt Riddle, Johnny Gargano versus the Undisputed ERA is a great story. I'm so glad we're getting this now. I can't wait to see how much further we can go in this, with these guys. I'm excited to see where they take it. The ladders match announcement was huge as well. I can't wait to see that match. And Tyler Breeze returning to NXT just feels right. It just feels like a homecoming in my opinion. So for me, I'm going to give NXT itself a 3 out of 5 stars. For NXT UK, every match and everything just felt right. Banks versus Connors, brilliant. Dar versus Andrews, brilliant. Rhea Ripley's promo, fantastic. And then you have Pete Dunne versus Walter 2 with a kind of a bit of a shock ending, if you want there. So for me, that was just mind-blowing brilliance for main event. So I'm going to give NXT UK a 3.5 out of 5. I think NXT UK just beat NXT this week, and I think it was so hard to call each one, but I think yes, NXT UK does win for the week. But what was your favourite part about NXT and NXT this week, guys? Leave it in the comments below. And like I said at the start of this video, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe and press that bell to keep notified with all our content here at Smack Talk Wrestling. If you want to follow us on the old Twitter, you can do it at Smack Talk YouTube. There's a little thing here. And if you want to follow me on the old Twitter, it's at Boyze again, roundabout here. And I'll see you guys next time on Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews.